Okay, we have Dino here, and I'm sure you guys can probably guess what Dino's here for. Have a look at his body language, and what do you think he's here for? Dino's here for an exposure session. In other words, getting him with other dogs. Dino has recently been attacked. You can see on the back of his neck there, where he's recovering. This guy didn't fight back at all, got in a bad dog fight. Poor fella. And he's super affectionate, not aggressive. So what we're trying to do with Dino is get him to get some trust again. The poor guy was attacked. My buddy, look at you. So we're going to put him with dogs, nice dogs we have here at the daycare, just to really take the edge off the guy. Look at the size of his leg. He got bitten everywhere. On his tail. Oh, Dino. I feel terrible for this dog, poor fella. So we're going to try and get this guy relaxed. I'm not trying to scare him. Some people sort of look at this guy, isn't it a bit much? You know, we're going to put him with nice dogs. And the idea is at the end of this session, to try and see a more relaxed body language and see this tail coming out, hopefully gain some trust. But we are going to start with one dog at a time and then build him up to a group of dogs. This is not about obedience. This is nothing reprimandable. This is what people need to understand. I'm always saying that you need to figure out firstly where the behaviour is coming from. It's a place of fear, a place of outright dominance, aggression. This behaviour is not reprimandable. He's doing nothing wrong. Now, when she turned up, he was in a harness. I wish I got a video. He backed out, nearly slipped out of the harness, and he stayed there. We couldn't move him. I put him on a slip lead, like I've shown you. And I tell you all the time, there's such a good tool. It allowed me to gain control. He complied with me. He started walking forward, and then we got him inside, and he walked involuntarily. But without the slip lead, it enables Dino to keep control, hence stay scared. Does that make sense? By having the slip lead, it enabled me to encourage him past that little point of fear, and now he's in here. So the next step is we get Dino with dogs and get him more relaxed. Let's do this. Okay, so we've got a dog coming in. This guy's just going to the toilet, doing his thing. Cyril's a very gentle soul. So we're going to do it at a little bit of a distance. Let him get relaxed first. Keep him at a distance. Tail's good. Man, for a dog that's been attacked. Huh? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. He settles. Good boy. That's the way, Dino. Good boy, Cyril.
Yeah.
This is the key, guys. Put your dog back with nice dogs. But Dino surprisingly doesn't look too bad for a dog who got attacked so badly. He's obviously got pretty strong character about him. Good boy, Cyril. Nice meeting.
Well done, big boy.
There we go. Huh? Good boys. Good boys. There we go. And that'll do for the first dog. Interesting side note is that Dino is intact. He's a full male. So he's actually very good for a full male dog. Considering what he went through, I'm actually quite impressed with his temperament. Hey, buddy. You're very resilient, buddy. Yeah, that tail's better now. A bit more relaxed. Okay, we have a little puppy coming in, little Molly. Little non-threatening Molly. Because we can clearly see Dino really doesn't have an interest in doing anything to dogs. Hello, buddy. So remember, guys, Dino hasn't come here because of his aggression. I would never do this otherwise. We're simply trying to rebuild confidence. He got attacked, and we're just trying to get Dino with dogs that he feels comfortable around. I'm not going to put a strong dog like this with a puppy if I thought he had a possibility of reactivity. It's not what this is about. Look at that tail. Good boy. Good boy, Dino. Yeah, good boy. There we go. Now we're going to bring my dog in, Nash, on purpose because he's a little bit hyperactive. So I'd like to see Dino with a dog that's, you know, a bit more energy about him and so forth. See if his demeanour changes. It hasn't. Just a bit of a test. It's nice to have multiple personalities for your dog to be with, to assess. Nice greeting. Look at those tails. Good boys. I sniff you, you sniff me.
Yeah.
And then lose interest. I think Dino can go with all the dogs. What do you think, Dino? Get in there and have a good time and relax a bit.
He's a good boy.
Hey, good boy, buddy. Good boy. Okay, beautiful. Let's do it. Okay, now we're in with all dogs. met Cyril. There we go. Still going to keep him on lead for a while. Remember, complacency. It's definitely a little bit more overwhelming when you see a bunch of dogs. And when you bring out excitement in him, you don't know what you'll get. Oh, a bit of a play. Huh?
Cyril's not called it either.
A little bit of a play mode there.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh. Good puppies. Like water? Oh, yeah, don't mark on my pool. That's a problem with a dog that's not into sex. You get marking.
Good boy, Cyril.
Good boy, Cyril. Yeah, okay, you've established who he is.
Yeah.
That's not enough. Ooh, little plays. He'll be a rough player, but little chest down. Nice. Oh, they all play the same. These guys, staffies, they go from like still to like boom, moving. Oh, God, he's strong. But that was a nice little play mode there. Good ball. Good boy, Deano. Good boy. He's a little stuffy. Bowing down, submitting, but growling. And Deano does nothing, so that's even better. The fact that Deano's recently been attacked. Good boy, Deano. You love Cyril, don't you? Huh? You love Cyril. Okay, so after watching Deano play, I have a bit of a theory. I think Deano has a possibility to incite dog fights, not through his aggression at all, but we see it all the time. He's a very rough player, a little bit verbal, he's really physical. And if another dog's not enjoying that, that can create fights like this here. Some dogs love it, some dogs don't. And owners really have to watch when your dog is too much like that, you have to correct it. So me saying that, when we see that here, I will correct it. We will correct it. We'll mark that behavior. You can do that with your dogs. You can teach them there's levels to play, and then there's a point where you're getting too rough. Because as an owner, if you don't do that, your dog can get in fights because the other dog misreads it, doesn't like it, and next thing it pushes back eventually. It might put up with 10 minutes of it. I don't know with Deano, but that could have happened with this fight. He could have been like that with the dog, and then it pushed back eventually. Maybe not. I don't know the full circumstance of exactly how the fight happened. I know he got attacked terribly, which is horrible. It's horrific, and I feel terrible for him. But there could have been a lead up to it that the owner might have missed. I'll have to talk to him more about it. She might have missed it. So in hindsight, if you notice your dog's more doing that, you can almost reduce the point where your dog will probably never get it in dog fight unless there's a dog that's outright aggressive and charges your dog, because it's generally a lead up to it. So the lesson here is for everyone. Now, this is not saying that the owner of Deano caused this at all, nothing like that. But I'm just trying to use this as an example of him being a rough player. And if this is your dog that's like him, you need to watch that behavior. So I would introduce your dog to dogs on a lead. Let them play like this. But when you see behavior you don't like that gets a bit rough, correct it. It doesn't take much. It can be a little correction through the lead, can be a verbal correction. And just let your dog know that's enough. Mark that behavior, then let them play again. And try and educate them of how they're meant to act socially. It's no different than your kids at school playing too rough with other kids. They get corrected for that. Your job as a dog owner is to monitor your dog's play, watch them, and let them know what level you're okay with them playing at, and you can make them a lot better. So now we're going to go the next step, which we tend to do, have a sort of a system here, is we drop the lead. He's on a lead still, but he knows he's on it, so that can have that equipment association. He might not be the wiser that I don't have it in my hand, and it can help. And we're not going to encourage marking either. No marking on my stuff. With the lead, he knows that we can grab it. And then when you're happy with how he performs on a lead with it dragging, you go off lead. But he'll probably stay with the lead dragging off him today. It's important you have a system for what you do, so the dog understands what you want from them, and they're not confused. You can't have grey areas with the dogs. You make it very clear what's allowed, what's not allowed. Very, very clear. Your dog may not be biting other dogs, but it may be threatening assault. Does that make sense? By showing his body language, showing intention. You don't notice it because you're not a dog. The other dogs pick up on it. Could be tail, could be body language, could be their head putting his head over another dog. And that can be enough to get another dog to defend itself before it's bitten. I think there's a really important lesson here that you remember that. You need to know body language in your dogs and understand what signs they're giving to other dogs to possibly incite self-defense against your dog, because your dog is showing genuine intention they're about to attack them. I know you think that your dog's not, but it's not the case. There is a lot of dogs that do it, and the other dog defends and attacks and bites back, and you think it was that dog that just attacked your dog, but there was a lot of lead up you're missing out on. These are important lessons, guys. Very important that you learn to read your dog's body language, because you can stop so many fights. Your dog may be the bully. It may be the one that's just firing dogs up and may not be going to the next level, but it's doing enough to make dogs cranky and fire back at them. So be aware, read the body language and understand, is your dog showing intention with enough to make the other dog go before it attacks it? Be careful of this, okay? I want you guys to watch really carefully at a clip that's about to come up where Deano goes to interact with Cyril and he restrains himself from jumping up on him. Now, why does he do it? He does it because of the amount of repetition we put in with correcting him and marking that behavior as being unacceptable. You can make a very big difference to your dogs. I'm always telling you guys, but you have to put in the time. You got to follow your dogs around, watch them play, correct them, tell them what's acceptable, tell them what's not acceptable, and you can improve them. It's coming up in a second. You watch. He goes in, he goes up to jump, and he stops himself there, and he restrains himself. Now, that's a dog that's starting to learn and listen. It's a great thing to see, and you can do the same thing with your dogs. So I had to talk to the owner and dug deep about the dog fight. Now, like I said previously, I didn't know what it was about, and the information I've given you regarding reading body language, everything is very, very real, very relevant, and you should be doing that. But this dog fight, unfortunately, she was walking her dog and two dogs come run out of her house, attacked her dog before she knew it, getting them apart, and they one ran one way, one ran the other. So very bad circumstance, and certainly not the dog fight that is very common walking down the street. A lot of dogs get out, but for two dogs to attack a dog like that is terrifying for you as the owner, terrifying for the dog, and she's very lucky that the dog wasn't imprinted with reactivity later on. So considering that, he went amazing, went really, really good. But still, be aware of what I've said with dog fights and body language. It's a very important lesson to remember. This one, unfortunately, wasn't that, and it couldn't be helped. It happened before she knew it, and it was all over. Thinking about it for Deano, I would actually probably class this more as a rehab session. So we might even label some of our new sessions rehabs. For dogs that have been bitten, dogs that have had bad experiences, you need to do some rehabilitation. That's really what this is about. Deano's certainly shown a little bit of behavior today that's, like I said, I would call as a dog owner unacceptable, as in just too rough, and we need to teach your dogs that. So hopefully you guys have got a lot out of this video. I'm going to dig deeper into this with the owner, ask exactly what happened in the fight, a lot more detail actually, because often it can be given as a pretty broad answer, but when you dig down deep, there can be something in there. So we'll get to that for sure and educate the owner on this one, and hopefully this never ever happens again to Deano, because he's a lovely dog. Now guys, as usual, if you enjoy, please hit the subscribe. I really appreciate it. Watching's great, but subscribing is even better. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.